Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk about the reality of making it pro in sports because, as you know, only the top 0.1% or whatever, something like that, of players in any given sport actually make money. And so, I mean, like, enough money to live on. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my own experience. Actually, I tried to go pro, and I also know, like, at least 6 other people. At least, that's the key word, because not everybody who's trying to go pro in a sport mentions that they're trying to go pro in a sport. So with my sport, it was soccer, football, depending on what you prefer to call it. So I tried for like 3 years to go pro, but the problem was, and I played all throughout my childhood and this sort of thing. So like I had many years of experience already before actively training and trying to go pro. So then when I was actually trying to go pro, in my area, I found a lot of obstacles with moving up in the rankings to higher levels to playing soccer at higher levels, in terms of, number one, being able to talk to the key decision makers like coaches, managers of teams, and these sorts of things. And then number two was that there was a lot of politics in the majority of the teams that are around. Basically, you just have to be there, like, you have to be the right person at the right time in the right situation to actually move up and advance in levels in pro sports. But the thing is, if you're already at a, like, you're already at playing a sport at a high level and you're close to going pro, then it probably makes sense to actually keep going and try to make that push towards actually going pro, because you're already almost there, right? But if you're at a lower level and say you're like already 20 or something like that, personally, I mean, I think you should still try, but it shouldn't be your only thing that you have going for you. In my opinion, you should also have some other things that you have going for you, like working on a career and this sort of thing as a backup plan in that sort of situation. Because like I said, everything just has to line up perfectly for you. If you're in an area like the area I'm in, then there's not a lot of opportunity to actually move up, and there's not a lot of infrastructure and this sort of thing, even for the pro teams. Like, if you make a pro where I'm from, you still don't make good money. You still just make like okay money, and then you have to go to another country. But even to make it to pro here, there's still like, there's no annual tryouts or anything like this. It's just like, it's not a system that facilitates those sorts of things for some reason. I don't know why they don't do that here, but that's just how it is, you know? Like, if you're in an area where there's not much opportunity to actually go pro, then it makes sense to focus on something else, either that or move to a different area, in my opinion. Like, moving to another area might be a good option too, but it's expensive. It's up to you. So when I was trying to go pro, the biggest obstacle that I had after the second year was that I actually broke my hand. So it messed up all my tryouts for the third year. I couldn't get on the team I wanted, and by that point I was already 23 years old. So like, breaking my hand really put an end to everything for me personally, because now I'm like pretty old for like sports, for going pro in sports, I mean, because, you know, obviously teams want younger players ideally, because then they can keep them for longer, they can train them more to be how they want, and they can have the player play that the way that the team wants for a longer period of time and this sort of thing. So yeah, I was already 24, and I had to play at a lower level of soccer than I wanted to, because I couldn't make it on a higher level team due to the injury. So I played for like half a season last season, and then I had the surgery for my hand because my hand was broken. Had to heal that up. So I only just started playing soccer again recently, and now I'm only playing casually, and I'm not trying to go pro anymore because things just didn't work out for me, guys. Like I said, I think it makes sense if you're kind of in the right place, the right time, and you see the opportunities, you see the path that you're gonna take to go pro. But if you don't see that because your area doesn't really have a good system for people advancing this sort of thing, and also if you're like not already somewhat advanced in the system and you're kind of already kind of close to going pro, then it probably doesn't make sense to have that be your only thing that you wake up and focus on and you obsess over. So with the other people that I know that tried to go pro, like I said, I know like 6 people, and none of them have gone pro except for one guy. One guy went pro. But even for the guy who went pro, he's like 23 now and he's still not making great money. It's pro because technically he's getting paid for soccer, but the thing is he's not getting paid that much. It's not something that you can live off. He has to do other things. He has to like get money another way to pay rent and this sort of thing. So like it's not like I mentioned, it's not a high paying profession in my area because my area isn't well known for soccer. And so yeah, people don't just live off of just that. Basically, for the most part, they don't live off of just that in my area. And other people that I know that trying to go pro, they haven't made it so far. They've been trying, they train hard, they're great players, but they haven't made it. One guy in particular, he's getting old, you know. He's like almost 27, and yeah, he still hasn't made it, you know. And he went all in for that because he doesn't have much else going for him, in my opinion. I guess he does have like something else going for him, but you know, it's not something that you can, it's not something that I would say is like great. Could have been better if he had spent some energy on doing other things, but it is what it is. That's about it for this video. I hope that was somewhat helpful. It is unfortunate that it's not as easy to go pro in some areas as it is in others. In my opinion, it's kind of the luck of the draw. Some areas they pay more, some areas they have better infrastructure in place for allowing the players who deserve to move up actually advance in the system, the levels of soccer. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment down below if you got something to say about the matter. Maybe you disagree with me. And I'm out. Peace.